today. One, we want to announce how we did on our campaign. And we also want to recognize the volunteers and organizations that made the campaign possible this year and helped to make it a success. We live in a pretty special community here in Muscatine. I think you hear a lot of people say that Muscatine's very giving, that we're lucky to be here. But I'm going to put a little bit of statistics behind that, if you will. I kind of looked at some of the neighboring campaigns, some of the neighboring United Way campaigns, to see how we stack up with them. And a couple of them have been announcing their goals recently. And Quad Cities, Cedar Rapids, they're hitting close to $9–10 million, which is a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot. Our campaigns are usually run around $1 million, right? So what I did is I kind of looked at the amount that is per capita, per person living in their communities. And what I found was Quad Cities United Way is around $30 per person. Cedar Rapids is around $35, which is pretty good. Muscatine is around $45 per person in this community. And it's not just, we're not just showing our giving nature with those larger communities, but if you look at communities the same size as Muscatine, we are probably 3 times the giving that they have. If you look at like Burlington or those similar sized communities. So it's a really pretty powerful thing to see that at work in this community, and to show, to see the community really show their support for the organizations such as us and such as the agencies that we fund here. I talked a lot about dollars just now, and that's an important thing to talk about. I mean, we have to raise the money in order to make the difference, right? But that's really what our focus is this year. If you noticed on all of our materials, we didn't really list a goal in dollars. We chose to do a goal in lives impacted. We're really, because that's what it's really all about, is the lives we're impacting. Not the money we're raising, but how is that money making a difference in the community? And that's really what our focus is this year, is how we're going to make a difference in the community with the money that we raise. So that's why all of the material that you've seen, and when we announce our campaign goal today, and how we've done towards that goal, we're going to be talking about the lives impacted. In some ways, today feels like we've reached the finish line. We've kind of, campaign's over, we've reached the finish line. But in actuality, the race is kind of just starting. The work that those dollars are going to do is just beginning. March, as we head into February and March, that's when we make the decisions on which organizations are going to receive the funding that we raised during the campaign. So it's those organizations that kind of have to carry that on and make the impact in the community. And we're certainly going to do what we can to help them out with that. So again, thank you all for being here. I'm going to bring up our board president for 2012, Brandy Olson. I'd like to give her a round of applause here.
I get the pleasure of congratulating our 2012 campaign chair. We had a very successful campaign, and I think it's shown through all the efforts of the staff and then all of the volunteers involved in campaign at all levels. But right now we want to take a moment and thank Sal Lobianco for leading the committee. No, really, it takes a lot of time and effort to organize campaign and to get things started and to really get the ball rolling out to all the companies and the individuals who participate. And this year we made a big effort to try to improve things over prior years, and all that credit goes to Sal and the folks that worked with him, and a lot of you are here today. So thank you again, and I'm going to turn the microphone over to Sal.
Thanks, Brandy and Shane. Want to talk about, excuse my gravelly voice, how we did in terms of our campaign goal, and I'm pleased to say we made it, and thanks thanks to all of you and your efforts, we did attain our 2013 campaign goal of impacting over 27,000 lives. So again, thanks. We're here to celebrate. As Shane talked about, we've got a great community. Community pulls together. United Way helps those who help themselves through the funding of various programs with our partner agencies. The story, the community investment folks help determine how and where those needs should be met. So it's a really great story, and I'm pleased to be a part of this great community. I want to do some special thank yous. Campaign cabinet members, those are the folks that are out working with the various companies to make sure that the company's in-house campaigns are a success. The marketing committee members, the companies that participated in the campaign, our leadership givers, the individual donors, and of course the United Way staff. I especially want to thank Kim Warren. She was a real trooper through all of this. We had a few challenges, but she was steadfast and she was always there taking care of the details. So I would especially like to have the audience give Kim a round of applause for all her hard work. And I'd like to recognize my campaign co-chair, Rich Dwyer, and thank him for his participation and officially pass the torch for next year's campaign to Rich. So now we'll move on to the rest of the program, which is recognition. And now we'll move on to the campaign cabinet recognition. Again, these are the folks that really worked with the companies and made it happen and really put in a lot of time and effort to helping make this campaign a success. So as I call your name, please come forward. Diane Campbell. She was here. Rich Dwyer. Rosie Eichelberger. Susan Eversmeyer. Mike Harrison. Greg Jenkins. Mike Johansson. Mike Keller. Ron Monahan. John Morviak. Susan Niehaus. Brett Olson. Todd Potsy. Stephanie Romanoli. Tasha Wall. And Lisa Wiegel.
Don't let him set the precedent.
Next, we want to recognize the top 10 account awards. We'd like to recognize the following companies for their large employee and corporate giving. We have HNI, Han Allsteel, Yeah, we'll take you first and then we'll get it in the right order. Nobody told me to start at the bottom. First National Bank.
Thank you.
Zachary Company. Central State Bank. Muscatine.
Oh, yeah. Musco has the entourage this year. Great. Thanks, sir.
Stanley Consultants. Dennis. Come on up, Dennis.
I thought I was anonymous. All right, I've seen the drill here. Thank you.
Kent Corporation. Monsanto Company. SSAB. Again, thanks to all of those top 10 companies. Let's give them a round of applause. The next companies that we're going to recognize, we're recognizing for their outstanding campaigns in terms of increasing their total giving over 10% from last year. Krieger Motor Company. River Rehabilitation Physical Therapy. Mid-American Energy Company. McKee Button. Zachary. CAM2 Warehouse. Muscatine Power and Water.
Thanks, sir.
Kind of slow coming.
It's pretty good, 84% increase. Thank you.
And the Muscatine Journal. Again, let's give these companies a good round of applause. And now looking at outstanding company performance with respect to being nonprofit agencies, again, increase of at least 10% over last year's campaign. We have Lutheran Services, LSI Inc. And the Mississippi Bend AEA. Let's give these folks a round of applause. Then recognizing outstanding school student giving. Not only does the school district do campaigns in each school, but the students participate in that giving as well. And the following schools increased the results of their 2013 campaign, again by over 10%. Grant Elementary. Grant Elementary student giving. West Middle School. Muscatine High School. Franklin Elementary School student giving. And Jefferson Elementary School student giving. And now, Shane's going to do a couple other recognitions.
Yeah, thanks, Sal. I'd like to take a few minutes to thank our sponsor, Trinity Muscatine. They're sponsoring the breakfast today. So take a moment to thank them. And I'd also like to thank the Rendezvous, who provided this space for us. We had a couple of special recognitions that we wanted to make. These are people that did something a little extra for the campaign this year. The first person we wanted to thank was Genevieve Meeker. She's been our photographer for our Live United photo shoots for the past several years. I don't know if any of you participated in those photo shoots, but she basically volunteers her time to do that for us, does all the work, usually a couple Saturday mornings or a Friday night and a Saturday morning, spends the time getting everybody lined up, taking all the pictures, and then getting those pictures ready to give to us so that we can use them in all of our marketing material. So I wanted to take a minute to thank her. I don't believe she's here, but take a minute to thank her. And then we have another special recognition. We call this one Above and Beyond. And many of you probably aren't aware, but SSAB, they do fundraisers during the summer where they do grilling for United Way. And basically that's what they do. Their SSAB is kind of near Buffalo, if you know where that is, kind of out that direction. So it's not very close to anything that you could leave and get something to eat. So what they do is they grill right there on site. And those proceeds, they donate to United Way every year. Valerie Wales is actually the one that kind of coordinates all those efforts. She buys the supplies, she plans what they're going to serve, she schedules everything, she manages the janitorial staff who do all the prepping and the cooking. So we wanted to take a special minute to recognize her for all that she does to put those on each year. Valerie?
I had my moment there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brady come back up here again to...
I'm going to take a few minutes and recognize some of our departing board members, and we have recognition plaques for those outgoing board members. And most of these board members have served multiple terms on the board, so that's a almost 8-year commitment, I think, if my math is right. And that's a lot of time and energy to put towards United Way, and they all do it with care and consistency and dedication. So I want to thank these outgoing board members: Tim Chen, Dave Doms, Kevin Harrell, Greg Kistler, Bob Landy, Rich Maynard, Dr. Manassi, Ned Carney, Kevin Zyman. So let's give those folks a round of applause. We have 2 recognitions for you since you're here. So not only thank you for your board service, I appreciate it, but Kevin also did some extra work as he led the audit committee for a number of years. And a lot of our board members don't just serve on the board; they serve on committees, they do special projects, and Kevin's one of those with as many years of service in the audit, keeping us all honest and keeping the books in order, and making sure that we get good service from our outside auditors and that everything's up to date and the way it should be. So we want to thank Kevin for minding the house for us with the audit committee. Additionally, we want to extend thanks to the rest of the 2012 committee chairs: Kevin Harrell, Admin Committee; Angie Draves, Marketing; Angela Farmuth, Dave Caring; and Dawn Pence and Chris Rudolph on Community Investment. Jim?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm Jim Hayes. I'm the, incoming board chair for United Way this year, and I really appreciate you all attending this morning and supporting United Way. A lot of good volunteer hours that have been put in to make this campaign possible, and Sal's done a great job with it too. I'm here to recognize this morning somebody who has put a lot of hours into the United Way effort during the past year. Brandy, who was just up here, has been the board chairman for the past year, and she's put a lot of hours in. We've been through a little challenge, I guess, during the year, and a lot of what goes on and a lot of successes that occur are about the right person being in the right place at the right time. And I think Brandy was the right person for United Way during this past year to lead us through the challenges and opportunities that we have. So I'd like to recognize Brandy as outgoing chair.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I do want to say it's been a pleasure to serve with such wonderful board members, and I've learned a lot, especially working very closely with Jim over the last year, and other members of the board. Their wisdom, their experience, they do a lot of things behind the scenes that folks in the community probably never get to see, and that's okay, because that's part of the job. But I've worked with some great people, and we have a great board continuing for 2013, and United Way has a lot of good things that will continue to happen in the community because of the work being done by the staff and the board members. So thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming this morning. As I mentioned in the beginning, in some ways this is kind of reached the end of the campaign, but the real work is just starting. As Brandy mentioned, we have a lot of great things that we hope to be involved in this year. So be looking. I'm sure you'll see a lot of that if you're paying attention. You'll see a lot of the good work that we're doing this year. So thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate that.